Hopefully this sounds familiar. You're out shooting photos on your lovely film camera, and you know you took some really good pictures. Once your roll is finished, you take it out of your camera and send it off to get it developed. Or even better, you develop it yourself. You get your negatives back and you realize you forgot to get them scanned, or maybe you just chose not to scan them, but either way you're gonna have to get them
That's expensive.
Yeah. So what do? Well, you make one. So for this project, you're gonna need some glue, preferably good sticky glue, a hobby or utility knife, some popsicle sticks, a flashlight, some black foam board or cardboard works too, a ruler, I'll be talking in centimeters, one single sheet of white paper, a pencil or pen. You might need a black permanent marker, I'll explain that later. And finally, something that you can take pictures with. Okay, here we go. Start by drawing a rectangle that's 3.5 centimeters wide by 4 centimeters long. Then take 2 popsicle sticks and glue them to the paper along the width of your square. Once that's stuck on the paper, glue 2 more sticks lengthwise across your remaining lines. Now cut off any excess paper, and if you cut the popsicle stick ends, I do recommend you only cut the sticks going along the rectangle's length. Just a side note, the paper is there to act as some sort of diffusion from your light source onto your negatives. Okay, so now your negative plate is done. So now you basically want to make a box that will sort of bridge either your phone or your camera with the negative plate. If you don't have black foam board, you can use cardboard as well, but just make sure to use your permanent marker and color it black, just so it'll absorb the light. Next, you want to find the minimum focus distance that you can get a sharp image. You can do this by testing it on a flat-ish object, and then use your ruler once you get as close as you can. This will determine the height your box will be. Now cut 4 rectangles out of your foam board or cardboard. For 2 of the boards, they should be 3.5 centimeters wide by the height that you measured. For me is 8 centimeters. The next 2 boxes should be 5 centimeters wide. It could vary a little bit, it just depends on the thickness of your board. The way I got these measurements is that the inside of the box should be 3.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters, just like our negative plate. So I measured the thickness of the foam board, which is 0.5 centimeters, and added it to 4 centimeters to get 5 centimeters of the width. So take the 2 3.5 centimeter wide rectangles and glue them to the inside edge of the 5 centimeter one. The most important part about this box is to make sure that the inside of the box should be 3.5 centimeters by 4 centimeters. Now take your box and glue it to your plate, and that's basically it. Lay it down sideways and, oh yeah, side note, for my flashlight I actually took off the lens cap to get a better dispersion of the light. I just unscrewed it. This might not work for everyone, but at least for the flashlight I was using, it worked. Anyways, so now you're basically done. You can scan your negatives for cheap. If you're using your phones to take the scans, there are plenty of apps you can use to convert your negatives to positives. If you're like me and want to edit them in your computer, just bring it into whatever editing software you use. For me, I'm using Adobe Lightroom. And all you want to do to convert the image to a positive is to invert your curves, just like this. If your image is black and white, just desaturate it, or not, up to you. By inverting your negative using your curves, you just keep in mind that when you're editing your sliders, your highlights will actually become your shadows, and your shadows will become your highlights. So just keep that in mind. So that's basically it. Add the final edit to your photo and you're done. Hope you learned something watching this video. Keep in mind I just made a bare bones scanner, and I actually encourage you to use your own creativity and make this design your own. Add pieces, change things up, try different materials, whatever you feel like. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.